guys, welcome to What's Their Inspiration. Today we are here with
Paul G. Oxborough.
And today we are going to be learning about how he gets his inspiration. So let's start. Describe your art.
I do impressionist, realist, figurative painting.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I paint a lot of people.
Oh.
People are a huge inspiration for me. But also, I like to paint light, the way light falls across forms, like actual light, or the way light falls across a person's face. So light's always my main inspiration. And I love to paint people too.
That's kind of what the next question is. What is your biggest piece of inspiration?
I think, I already pretty much answered that. I want to be able to capture people's faces and expressions and light, but I also want to do it in a way that you can see the paint and how I did it.
Who was your idol growing up?
Oh, well, I first started out, I liked comic books and comics in the newspaper and cartoons. And then I started to like, those are artists named Norman Rockwell. In high school, I liked him, Chuck Close. He was a guy who painted a lot of faces. Those are the guys I liked mostly when I was first started out anyway.
Who's your idol now?
Who's my idol now for painting? That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. There are all these groups of French Impressionists, they're called. I would say probably my all-time, I really like John Singer Sargent, but I think my favorite painter in a way is Manet, who is a French painter. I really like his paintings. I like the way he painted people.
Okay. What's the most expensive piece you've ever worked on?
Let's see. Most expensive painting ever was $225,000.
What? So expensive. What was it about? What was the painting based
actually,
on?
There was a painting that sold for a little bit more than that. I think it sold for like $275, but that actually was a resale. That's when somebody buys a painting from me or the gallery, and then they hold on to it for a while, and then they sell it again. So I wasn't a part of that sale, but that was a piece called the Palace Ballroom, and it was from this hotel in San Francisco.
Oh.
And I think that painting had, I want to say 60 different faces in it.
Yeah.
It was 6 feet across.
6 feet. Yeah. So how tall are you?
I'm
6 feet.
So that's that big.
So 12 feet.
Kind of like 6 feet this way and 5 feet that way.
So
really big.
A foot down from your height, and
then this from my fingertip to my fingertip.
That's tall. That's crazy. How long did it take you to paint it?
Oh, that one probably took about
6 weeks.
That's actually pretty quick.
For that big of a
But
painting.
actually, I worked on that canvas with different ideas for a month before that.
Oh.
So I bet you the whole thing took 2.5 months because I wasted a lot of time on other things first. But that's part of the job.
How do you sell your work?
I have a gallery that sells it. I don't do any of that. I just paint it and ship it off.
Oh.
Some artists, though, sell their own work.
What's the gallery name?
It's Cavalier Gallery.
Cavalier. And where is it?
They're in New York, in Palm Beach, in Greenwich, Connecticut, and Nantucket.
So have quite a few places?
Yeah, they have 4 places.
4.
But the main one is in New York that I have my shows at.
Yeah. How did you learn your craft?
Well, I had a really important art teacher in high school named Doc, who was a big influence on me. And he was the one who gave me an idea that I could do this for a job. And then I went to Minneapolis College of Art and Design for a year. And then I went to what they call an atelier, where it's like an apprenticeship program, where there's a master, you learn from them, they teach, and it gets handed down from generation. So I did that for 4 years.
Do you continue to learn new things?
All the time. Yep.
What's an example?
Well, I keep learning how to paint things differently and how to, mix colors better and to get the values better. But also, like I do different things. Like this show has a lot of people in it. So there's a lot of, for some reason, more than ever, there's a lot of people in this. So it grows but changes too.
Tell me, your process, like how you start a project and how you finish a project in the middle.
Well, so I was telling you about the atelier. That was, we couldn't use any photographs. Everything had to be painted like I painted this painting of your dad, like with him sitting there. But then I wanted to do more complicated paintings. I wanted to do paintings in places that I can't, it's not convenient to do that, to work directly from life. So
Yeah.
now I take photos and I go back to the studio and I work up a composition. And then all that happens in the studio, pretty much. Yeah.
So yeah, start, beginning, middle,
Yeah.
all in the studio.
All in the studio. Yeah.
How do you begin a new piece?
I just go in. I have a bunch of ideas always in my head. I probably have hundreds of ideas in my head, and I just go in. I pick one, and I start going. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and I move on to something else. And then sometimes, like I did a painting I did before the one I'm working on now, I just went in and went really well, and I did it really quick, and it was really easy. But I have periods where I'll like work for a month, and everything I do I throw away. So like people say, like, how long does it take you to make a painting? It depends. Sometimes it could take 3 days, or it could take 3 months. It depends on how it goes and how big it is too.
Okay. How do you know when your piece is finished?
That's a really hard thing. It's hard because if you don't finish it, sometimes you can ruin it, and I've done that plenty of times too. I think it looks really good, and I'm like, ooh, I think I can make it look a little better, and I go in and I ruin it. So it's just sort of an instinct, I think. And sometimes then I say I'm done and I turn it around against the wall so I don't see it for a long time, and then I come back to it and I'm like, I'll see it with a fresh eye, and then I'll say, oh, I got to change that, and then I go back and I'll change something.
What materials do you use?
I use pretty much only oil paints, and on canvas, on like a linen canvas. Pretty much, I used to do watercolors and draw a lot more, but I don't as much but I'd like to take it up again. But almost all oil paints,
Okay.
just because they're really hard to learn, but they have a lot of time to work on them, and then if you make a mistake, it's easy to change too.
Yeah. So do they dry quicker or do they dry
They dry slower, which is better. I even put my sometimes paintings in the garage when it's cold to keep it from drying even. It slows it down.
Oh, so cold slows it down.
Cold slows it down. I put my palette with the paints on it, and I have a refrigerator in the garage that I put that in, so it keeps the paints from drying out.
Okay. If you weren't an artist, what would you have done?
I think I would have liked to have been an architect, or maybe like a veterinarian or something like that, where you worked with animals maybe. Or I think I would have liked to have been a surgeon, but I don't like hospitals enough to want to be a surgeon. So maybe an architect, or maybe even like a sculptor or something.
Yeah, like so art related still.
Probably art related.
Yeah.
Or maybe animal related.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode of What's Their Inspiration. This is Atlas and
Paul G. Oxborough
signing out.